everyone, and welcome back. It's me. It's cyberwarrior. This is cyberwarrior Studios. And guess what today is? Today's Tech Tuesday. That's right, I said it. It's Tech Tuesday, and we coming at you with another episode. Now, last week we did a little overview of just kind of Kali Linux 2022.1. I didn't go over all the features or anything like that. Kind of showed you the virtual machine, the ISO. Today, what we're going to cover is installing on WSL. Now, here's the kicker. We're also going to verify the version, because as this is going to come from the Windows App Store to install and not doing a direct download from PowerShell, we're going to go through and look at everything there and make sure our versioning is right. And if it's not, guess what? We're going to update it to 2022. So no worries. Stay tuned as we get ready to roll right into this. Now, the first thing you're going to want to do is go and download an application called Windows Terminal. All right, this will allow you to switch context between your Linux distributions in WSL, PowerShell, command line. It's actually a really cool tool. I only found it recently. So if you go into your Microsoft Store, go to Windows Terminal, type it in. It's the first thing that pops up. Once you get that downloaded and installed, you'll have that. So that's right down here. So we're going to right-click, and we're going to go. Wow, it won't let me run. Shift right-click. My bad. And we're going to run as administrator. So now we're up and we're in here as an administrator. We got an administrator of PowerShell. Did this for two reasons. The first one is because for a lot of PowerShell commands that we have to install things, you're going to want to have this administrative window. All right, it will only work as an administrator. Now, understand, everything, all the commands I'm going to show you, I've already done. I already have this completely enabled and running, but I will show you some checks and how you can verify different versions. But in order for this to work right, you need WSL version 2. All those links will be down below. You can also head over to the Kali documentation, which I'm going to put down below, on how to get this set up for yourself also. But if you want to follow along in case there's any mistakes or anything you may see, we'll be able to do that. So let's keep it moving and let's go into this. And so the first command that it tells us to run is to enable this optional feature. Now here's the thing. You can also do this through the GUI. But if we go here and we right-click, it's Enable Windows Optional Feature, Online Feature Name, Windows Subsystem for Linux. Again, I've already done this. I already have it enabled. I've already used it. So I'm not going to run it. But you would do that and then restart. So we get out of there. And then after it restarts, you open up your PowerShell as administrator again. The next command you would run is this one right here, which is dism.exe, online enable feature, and you're enabling the virtual machine platform. Now, you're not restarting just yet, hence the /no restart. And then the next feature you're going to install is you're going to make sure all of this is, again, this is the subsystem for Linux. Make sure that's all there. All right. So you run all that, and then you restart your computer. Once that's restarted, all of Windows Subsystem for Linux is there, with one caveat. WSL2 is not. So in order for WSL2 to be enabled, you have to go to this Microsoft link, which again will be in the description, and you have to enable WSL2. So you download the update package and install it. So what we'll do is we're going to go in and we're going to set our default version. So if I come here and let's make this bigger, and we do WSL set default version 2, hit enter. All right, and it's completed successfully. So now we have that as our default version. So the next thing we're going to do is we are actually going to install Kali Linux. So to do that, we go back to the Windows Store. And actually, just real quick, before we get into that, one of the things I want to show you is you can verify which features are on and off by doing your turn Windows features on and off. And here you will see I already have Windows Subsystem for Linux, and I have the virtual machine, where is it? Virtual machine platform right there. All right. So I have both of those installed. So now we're going to go here, and we're going to go to Kali. This is also how you would install things like Ubuntu, or other different Linux distributions. So Debian, there's quite a few on here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to install. So this is going to download. Once it's done downloading, and installing, there are going to be some tweaks and different things we need to do in order to get this fully functional. But we will make sure that it installs and that everything's working as intended. And we're also going to install a graphical manager. All right, now that it's done downloading, we're going to go through and we're going to hit open. So we open this and we get this little Kali Linux rolling. It's going to install. Now it's going to ask us for a username. So we're going to put one in here. And, I'm cyberwarrior, so we're going to put that in. Oh, whoops, all lowercase, my bad. And then we're going to enter our password. And there we go. So, message from Kali developers. This is a minimal installation of Kali Linux. So how we use it and what we want to do is on us. Now, again, by minimal, it means there are little to no tools there. So we're going to go through and we're going to get things set up for us so that we're good to go and we have everything ready to rock and roll. So the next thing we want to do, now that we've done, we've got all that set up. So we've got our WSL2 there. We have the versioning. So let's verify our version. So let's exit out of this. And we're going to go here, and we're going to open up a new window just to be safe. And there we go. So we've got a new instance. And we go to WSL set version Kali Linux 2. So this is going to make this, if it wasn't already, this makes Kali Linux and WSL version 2, which we had already done it by default, but that was just to make sure. Now, one of the reasons we use this terminal is because now I can go here and I can just bring up Kali Linux and it automatically logs me in and we're already ready to go. Oops. So while we're there, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do a sudo apt update. And that's going to update everything. And then we're going to do sudo apt install y Kali Win-KeX. So now what this is going to do is this is going to allow us to use the Kali as if it was in a graphics, as if you were running it as its own operating system or on a virtual machine or what have you. This gives us that ability to use it in a windowed form. So you have the GUI and everything else like that. Now, again, it's not a necessity. You can completely skip this step if you don't want to do it because a lot of people like the terminal, and that's where you're going to run your tools from and do everything anyways. But if you do want access to the graphical interface, this is what you would do. So while this is going through and installing, I'm going to hang out, and I'll be back here in a little bit. All right, we're back, and that is finished installing Win-KeX, which allows us to do windowed mode. So if we wanted to take a look, we can come right in here. We can do KEX. Actually, I believe it's just KEX. Let me just verify that. Yeah. So it's just KEX. And we set our password. We don't want a view only password. And now we need so now you can see it actually started up and it took over one of my other monitors, so I had to switch the screen real quick. So plug in Power Manager, plugin unexpectedly left the panel. Do you want to restart it? Sure. All right, we'll remove it. And then now that we're here, there's a few things that we need to check. The first thing we need to check is our version. So if we want to check our Kali Linux version, there's an easy way to do that. So we open up our terminal, and this is going to make sure we're on the newest release. So we do lsb_release-a. And yes, so we are on 2022.1. But there's a problem. And what is that problem? Well, the problem is, let's see if we have MSF console. It's not found. Okay. What about Nmap? Not found. And there's a reason for this. The WSL install, much like the Docker install, is a minimal installation. These commands don't exist. So even if I were to do sudo su and do MSF console, just to make sure, it's not there. Nmap, not there. So it isn't just that you can't use it as a user, it's that it actually does not exist. So how do we fix that? Well, there's a few ways. You can either install, kind of like people do with Ubuntu and other tools, install the tools you want individually, or there's a command you can run that will actually install everything. So what you would do is you would do sudo, well, we're already in sudo, so let's exit this and do it the right way. Clear. So we do sudo apt install -y Kali Linux large. We hit enter. This actually installs a vast amount of the tools for Kali Linux. And again, this one may still be missing things. The other command you can run is Kali Linux everything. And again, I'll put those commands down below in the description. You can check them out. This is just going to install the vast majority of what you're looking for. All right. And again, anything missing, if you don't want everything, you can do large or small, or I believe there's a few others out there. I'd have to take a look. But you can use a different variation of what tools you want installed, and then just install tools that you think are missing individually. Again, it's all up to you and how you want to do things. But stay tuned, and once this is done, we'll take a look at some other things and make sure we're set up and good to go. And if we are, then you'll be ready to rock and roll with Kali on WSL. We will add one more setting as well to our Windows terminal. And once that's done, then you'll be able to access either the CLI or this windowed version whenever you select your tabs. So we'll get right into that, and I'll see you here in a little bit. All right, so we are here at a point where it's going through the install and some package configurations. And now this is for an application called Mac Changer. So anytime a network address is brought up or down, do you want it to give it a new MAC address? So we're going to say yes, why not? And then Kismet needs root privileges for some of its functions. However, running it as root is not recommended, since running all of the code with elevated privileges increases the risk of bugs doing system-wide damage. Instead, Kismet can be installed with the set UID bit, which will allow it to grant these privileges automatically to the processes that need them, excluding the user interface and packet decoding parts. Enabling this feature do we want to allow Kismet to run as root or use this set UID? So we're going to use set UID. And for our users, we're just going to use ourselves, since that's the only one that matters. Dumbcap can be installed in a way that allows members of the Wireshark system group to capture packets. Should non-super users be able to capture packets? Yes. SSLH can be run either as a service from inetd or as a standalone server. Each has its own benefits. With only a few connections per day, it's probably run SSLH from inetd. So we're going to run it from inetd. I don't have any reason to run it as standalone, although you can do so. All right, so we're done installing all the tools from Kali Linux Large. So it's a good deal. There's a lot here. A lot's been installed. But while we no longer need this, so we will go through and let us exit this out. And let's pull back up our terminal. So we're going to go here, and we're going to say kill kill -9 12762. There. Yeah. No, don't try to reconnect. So now we're here. Now the next thing we want to do is we want to create a fun little drop down that'll actually give us the ability to run Kali Linux straight from Win-KeX. So if we go into settings, and we don't need the launch size, we need to create a new profile. So we're going to go to open JSON file, and this gives us all these. So the next one we want to create is going to allow us to run Win-KeX, or KeX. I keep saying KeX. Win-KeX. And this is going to be a basic menu with sound. All right. So we're going to go here and let's do this. Let's copy this. And again, I'll put the link to where I'm pulling this information from, but we're going to go there. Whoops. And we're going to copy that. And let's make sure that it's all lined up correctly. And all this is a JSON file to allow you to add the different shortcuts. So let's go through and make sure that's lined up. All right. And now we save this and close about our settings. And now if I go here, there it is. Now you can put an image there. You can add an image and make it whatever you want. But if I go and click this now, it will automatically bring it up. So if I bring my terminal back and close out of this, it should kill this session, which it doesn't seem to be doing. So let's close it ourselves. So we're going to close that window. So, and that's how you set up those shortcuts. And again, if you, in the link below in the description, there will be a bunch of different ways that you can go about doing that. Now, saying that, like I said, we have here our Kali Linux, LSB, oops, let's just go up. Oops. What was that command? I always forget this command. I don't know why, but I do. LSB release, that's it. LSB release -A. And you can see it is 2022.1, which is the newest distribution. So we're fully updated, fully upgraded on the newest rolling distro, and we have a ton of tools installed. So without further ado, it has been another amazing episode of Tech Tuesday. And if there is absolutely anything at all that you would like me to cover, if you have any comments, please go ahead, leave them down below. Like this video, subscribe to our channel, as always, and I will see you all Friday. Actually, I'll see you all Thursday on Eric Bellardo's new Battlefields, and then again on Friday right here on CyberWarrior Studios for Security Happy Hour. So I hope to see you all there. Once again, thank you for tuning in, and I will see you all next time.